Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com, and this is the Nokia E63. This is the lower cost sibling to the crazy, super slim, sexy, award-winning E71 smartphone that came out last year, and a version of which should be launching on AT&T here in the US any day now. Today being May 1st. Happy May Day, everybody. Hope you're doing your maypole dances and leaving flowers on people's doorsteps and all those things. Seriously, I heard last night that's what you're supposed to do on May Day, is leave a flowers on somebody's doorstep, and then run away. It's like a kinder ding-dong ditch 'em. Anyway, the E71 was one of my favorite devices of last year, a super slim Symbian S60 QWERTY smartphone. The E63 is a lower-priced follow-up that has a few differences. Actually, one advantage over the E71. It's got a regular 3.5mm headphone jack on the top instead of a 2.5mm jack. Otherwise, a few differences. The body is plastic instead of metal. It's 3G, but it's not HSDPA. There's no GPS. A couple other quirks to it. So we'll take a look here. But the E63 represents possibly a great value if you're looking for a Symbian smartphone. Right now, I just took a look. It's $199.99 on Amazon, which is dirt cheap for no contract. That's not a contract price, not 2-year contract, but unlocked, no contract, $199.99. It'll run on AT&T or T-Mobile here in the US, so the T-Mobile customers won't get 3G on it. The E71 is about $325, $325, depending on where you look. So, you know, definitely a big savings on the E63 if you're willing to forego a few of the features of the E71. Anyway, let's take a closer look at the Nokia E63. All right, so here you go. It's the E63. This is the red version. It also comes in blue. And I no longer have the E71 to compare to directly. But basically, the main difference is physically. The E71 was a metal phone. You can watch other videos about it to see it in person. But it's a metal device, and the one I had was gray, a little bit thinner than this phone. The E63 is a little bit thicker, and it's made from plastic, not metal. Otherwise, you know, those are the main differences in terms of the form factor and everything. Similar device in terms of the screen size, layout with the D-pad in the middle, the QWERTY board on the bottom. Slight differences on the QWERTY board as well. As we mentioned, the E63 has, I keep saying we, as I mentioned. There's nobody else here with me right now doing this, I promise. Not my imaginary friend. Not my, what, Tracy Morgan? I was watching 30 Rock last night. No cheese friends. I don't make cheese friends when I get sad and lonely, although maybe I should. That was really funny. Anyway, the E63 has a 3.5mm headphone jack on the top, something I really like because, as you know, if you watch my videos regularly, you know I'm a big music guy, and I like being able to just plug my headphones right in there without the need for any sort of an adapter or any other kind of funny business. One of the things about the E63's form factor that I don't like is that there's no rocker switch on the phone. There's no dedicated switch for volume. So to control the volume, you actually have to go to the D-pad. So if you're on a phone call or if you're listening to music or what have you, I'll put on some music here, and you can see the D-pad controls the music, which, in this particular case, me just, kind of demoing the phone isn't a big deal. But in my course of actually reviewing the device, it was a big pain in the neck because I'm kind of used to being able, if I'm on the phone and I want to change the volume, just being able to reach over to the side of the phone while I'm talking out, while it's up to my ear to be able to change the volume, or if it rings in my pocket, being able to reach down and hit the button to silence it. Now, you can still do that with this phone. It's just not quite as intuitive. Just those dedicated hardware buttons, you're kind of used to being able to easily find them on the side of the phone, and they have a distinctive shape and everything. So kind of a weird, I understand that Nokia, to make this a lower cost variant of the E71, it's a little bit thicker, it's plastic, not metal, there's no GPS chip, there's no HSDPA, there's 3G but not HSDPA. Those are all things that, kind of make sense. Not sure why they would take a rocker switch off the side of the phone, just kind of a bizarro move there. Oh, hey, look, it's a text message. Otherwise, you've got a micro SD card slot on the side, along with your USB port for charging, mini USB there, and here's your micro SD. As you can see, I fired up the media player. The phone works pretty well as a media player. A little bit noisy. When I plugged in my earphones, used some high quality earbuds. A little bit of kind of amplified static in between music tracks. Once the music's playing, it's fine. Call reception was good on the phone. I've been testing it out, as you can see, on AT&T here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Used it in the East Bay, used it in San Francisco, took it with me as my main phone for a few days. All in all, it works well. If you're familiar with Series 60, you know the power of it and the slight shortcomings. And you know, as I've said on other videos of Nokia devices, I think S60 needs an overhaul, and hopefully the new Symbian Foundation platform, when that gets going, you know, we'll see a UI overhaul. But lots of power under the hood. I was able to set it up with my Gmail account, no problem. It's got an email setup here that is very easy to use. You know, you just kind of punch in your settings if you're using, you know, a POP service, and it's really easy to get your email set up. You have to deal with stuff like this if you're not used to Series 60. You know, the little under the hood things that tell you the connection starting or let you choose which connection you're connecting to. Quad-band GSM, Edge, Wi-Fi as well. Everything works fine on the device. And again, 3G on AT&T, if not HSDPA, but still pretty good. The device has a 2 megapixel camera on the back. It's fine. It's not the best camera ever, but for a cell phone camera, it's certainly fine, and you know, it does what it's supposed to do. The soft grip plastic, pretty nice to hold. The keyboard, speaking of email and messaging and stuff, we'll take you into the messaging interface here. So we'll show you the interface for creating a new message here. One of the nice things about having a phone with a full QWERTY board is that when you're doing something like dialing a number or addressing a message, you can just type in the first couple letters of what you're looking for. And there you go. I can send a text message to my mom and dad's home phone. Well, that won't work. Or I could send one to my mom's cell phone number. And, you know, it just kind of makes it a little bit easier having the QWERTY board just to do direct searching of contacts and that kind of thing, as opposed to a touchscreen only phone. But we'll go down here and we'll say, happy early Mother's Day. The QWERTY board is pretty good. It's like the E71, but it's a little bit, the E71 was the action was a little harder, a little more clicky. Chiclet style, I guess, but not really chiclet style. This one's a little bit mushier. It's not mushy at all. It's just there's a little more give, a little more plasticky feeling. But you get the rounded, the kind of rounded domed keys, which make it pretty easy to touch, you know, to kind of type without looking and to feel the distinctions between the keys, even though they're pressed up close to each other. The spacebar is a little bit shorter, or narrower rather, on the E63, but it's still double wide, so it's plenty big enough. You've got a dedicated slash key now. And, you know, all in all, it's easy to type on, works well, definitely easy to get the feel of. It's easy to use one-handed because of the center-mounted D-pad, and you can use it, you know, either lefty or righty. And you've got your dialing keys there in the middle, of course. The phone was, you know, not the zippiest smartphone ever. A little bit of a delay. Not delay, just a momentary lag and kind of moving from application to application sometimes, but generally worked fine. The web browser is the Series 60 browser. Hey, when you're done watching this video, go play the One Pod Bandit over on PhoneDog or our Facebook page. You can win an iPod Touch, you can win a cell phone, it's free, it's easy, you can play 10 times a day. All right? Go do it. Good luck.